Omega collectors really need to stop sending me their watches. I'm worried that by creating another Omega video, people are going to start thinking I'm the Omega girl, particularly as someone who has a Rolex fangirl image to uphold. But this watch, this mid-century inspired sector dial legend, the Omega CK859, is absolutely irresistible. For anyone who's new here, I'm Brittany, aka watch.gringa, and I apparently exclusively make Omega videos. No, I just talk about watches in a hopefully not pretentious and fun way. Also, my house is currently being renovated, so if you see any mess off to the side, that's just from housework. And I've got a new mic. I think I don't like the arm. You were right, Vu Bui, who warned me not to get this. I think I don't like this, but we'll be going through a bit of a mic phase. I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing with it. And I've also just launched a Patreon, so if you want to support my channel with money, I won't stop you. And I'll link to the Patreon down below. So today we are hands-on with the new 2022 Omega CK859. This watch is on loan to me from an amazing channel subscriber, Nathan. He reached out via email asking if I wanted to borrow his brand new watch, which was honestly beyond kind. Gringa subscribers are honestly the best. You guys have always been far too generous with your watches, and I don't deserve you guys. This fucking arm, don't like it. So thank you so much, Nathan, and I hope I'm able to showcase your watch in the way it deserves to be shown. But now, let's talk about the real star of the show, the CK859. In my opinion, this is the best Omega release of 2022, even though it wasn't released during Omega days, and it was released in a relatively quiet way. Looking at the specifications, it's a very modern size of 39 millimeters in stainless steel, 11.7 millimeters thick, and a 20 millimeter lug spacing. 20 millimeter lug spacing is always music to my ears. I love a watch that can be a bit of a strap monster, but more on the strap later. The CK859 has 30 millimeters water resistance, which is pretty appropriate for a dress watch, and it is powered by the Omega 8926 manual wind movement, giving you 42 hours of power reserve. All around fantastic specifications. There's nothing I can really nitpick in the specs department. But I think it's the dial and case design that makes this watch come to life. I've always had a bit of a thing for sector dials. I don't know why they speak to me or why it's just so dang pleasing to my eye, but it just is. It feels like the marriage between minimal and functional. It looks like a serious time-telling instrument, whilst also not feeling too busy or too tactical. Interesting thing, if you look right at the middle of the dial, there's a small font that says AG925, indicating that the dial is made out of solid 925 silver. I'm really curious to see how this watch will age in patina. All of the design elements feel really thoughtful, but I do have 3 complaints if I really had to nitpick. Number 1, and I had this same problem with the Chrono Toki. I love the design of the hands, but it does take me a few seconds to figure out which one is the hour and which one is the minute hand. Maybe I'm too much of a dum-dum donkey brain.
Donkey-brained?
It means to have the brains of a donkey or a donkey-type creature.
But my preference would be a slightly smaller hours hand. Nonetheless, they're beautiful blued hands, gorgeously designed, and the way the light hits them is just... it's too good. My number 2 design nitpick is that the strap does somewhat let the watch down. The watch itself is designed so beautiful, but then the strap falls a bit flat for me, and it cheapens the overall look of it. With that said, I think the strap will look better over time and with a bit of wear and patina. Perhaps as it stands right now, it just looks a bit too new for my liking. And my 3rd nitpick, which I think will be pretty unique to me, and I'm sure I'll hear your disagreement all over the comment section, but I personally think 39 millimeters is on the edge of being too large for a dress watch. I'll still allow it. I'll allow 39 millimeter, but it's on the edge for me. I know it's a size that a lot of modern men will prefer for their dress watch, but I think the original 37mm is actually the perfect dress watch size. I know all the alpha males in the comment section are going to say it's too small, but it's just my 2 cents. So the modern Omega CK859 is based on a watch of the same reference number that Omega released in 1939. The original CK859 debuted the caliber M0T2 manual wind movement. This movement was incredibly reliable and became a popular movement in many Omega watches following. Turning this watch over, we have the manual wind Omega Coaxial Master Chronometer caliber 8926. I love a manual wind dress watch. I love it so much. So because this watch has a manual wind caliber, it's a lot thinner than its automatic counterpart would have been, especially for the beefy specs in the 72 hours of power reserve. A dress watch doesn't have to be automatic. In fact, I would prefer a manual wind dress watch to keep it that little bit thinner, that little bit more elegant, and causing you to have to connect with your watch every time you want to wear it. Now, since I'm somehow becoming the Omega girl, I feel like I have to highlight how amazing coaxial escapements are. I'm not going to make this a coaxial video. That could be a whole topic by itself. That could be a 15-minute video. But this technology cannot be overlooked. Created by George Daniels in the mid-1970s and industrialized by Omega in the 1990s, it is quite the departure from the traditional Swiss lever escapement. So a traditional escapement has 2 pallets and teeth that regulate the time on your watch. The coaxial escapement has 4 pallets instead of 2, creating a lot less contact between the pallets and the teeth. Less contact means less time needed between servicing because there's a lot less wear and tear, and it gives you more accurate timekeeping. Now, this was a gross oversimplification of the history of the coaxial escapement, which just might be one of the coolest things to have entered mechanical watchmaking, but we just don't have the time to do a deep dive on it. Ben Clymer deep dive. Hey guys, Editing Brittany here. So this would have been the part where I wrap things up and call it a day, but there was a couple things I missed and I haven't heard in any other review, and it's just things that I think are worth noting. So the first thing I want to talk about is the hour hand. So in crown position 1, it actually allows you to quick set the hour hand, which is really interesting, and I was surprised by that, and I think it's really cool and handy. Second thing, so I did talk about the strap, but I didn't talk about the buckle, and I really like the buckle. I think it's cool and vintage. I know some people would prefer a deployant, but I quite like it. And the third thing is it's Metis approved, so that's a pretty big deal, like 15,000 Gauss. Just, the whole watch is crazy. It's crazy. There's so much goodness. I didn't talk about the price, and if you want to get one of these, it is a bit steep, but I don't think it's too bad for how much watch you're getting. I know some people have said they think it's a bit overpriced in reviews, and I kind of disagree. I think it's really accurately priced for how much watch you're getting. Anyways, okay, I could gush over this watch all day long. It is vintage inspired done right. A lovely preservation of what was, but modernized, made today. I feel like it's just the refresh Omega needed in their catalog, and it just makes me happy. As always, I'd love to pass the question off to you guys. What do you think of the CK859? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it should be 37mm like I think it should be 37mm? I don't know. Tell us everything in those comments down below. I hate this arm. It's really messing up my jive. I don't like it. And do all those delicious things to feed the YouTube algorithm gods. Give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Until next time.